There's so much advice floating about with respect to how you can be kick ass at what you do. Here's me adding two more to that list. Honestly, though, these two principles have worked very, very well for me in my professional career. They've allowed me to do a bunch of things and do them well while I'm at it, especially because I've followed these forever now. They've allowed me to handle close to 450 people at work across a bunch of projects while simultaneously running my own design agency and working with a bunch of clients on the side. And to add a little bit more, also working on creating content across multiple social media platforms like LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Professional Playbook, where I wanted to share with you two principles that will do wonders to your career. So, the first among the two things that can be a game changer in your professional career is finish a 30-minute gig in 20 and make it look like it took 25. Here, we're basically talking about finding a balance between practicing and packaging your work. This is a technique that has worked really well for me. I know it sounds a little shady, but hear me out entirely. What this allows you to do is skill development, right? The pursuit of completing tasks in a shorter time frame means you're making a lot more time for yourself to pick up skills, to increase productivity and take up more projects. Additionally, it also reflects well on your work ethics and time management. Basically, whatever additional time that you make for yourself by finishing a particular project a little sooner, you're able to invest in your own personal development. Try and figure out how you can pick up strategies like micro-learning, listening to podcasts, practicing a new skill, or even sharpening your skills in the extra free time that you make for yourself. Next, managing expectations. Delivering the work slightly earlier than expected, of course, is a pleasant surprise for the client, right? You made a promise of a particular deadline and you're able to meet it just a little before that. Definitely makes it look like you're a lot more professional in front of the client's eyes. For example, in this project that we got very recently, what we tried to do is put a pipeline in place that the client had never seen to create content at scale and leverage that to make content creation happen much faster. That not only made us look professional, but it also saved us a lot of time, which, of course, who doesn't value, whether it's the client or yourself, right? Trying to adopt those kind of techniques and tricks so that you can make things happen a lot faster for yourself is very, very critical. Not only so that you can leverage that time to do a bunch of things for yourself, like I just described earlier, but also to look a lot more professional in front of the client. Next, of course, is perceived realism. Completing a task in 20 minutes might seem too perfect or unrealistic to some clients. By the way, 20 minutes is a placeholder here. Basically, what I'm getting to is if you finish way earlier than you actually planned to or the deadline that you promised, suddenly in front of the client's eyes, it seems like he or she is paying way too much for that particular project because you were able to do it so easily. In fact, there could be another notion in the client's head that you haven't spent enough time ideating on the problem itself and that you probably repurpose some existing solution from the past and just chip out it to the client, so to say. And while that may or may not be the case, and you may have put 150% into closing this project on time, unfortunately, these biases and notions exist, which is why the best way to counter it is not finish and submit the project well in advance, but find that sweet spot where it looks like it's timely and before what you promised, but not way before what you promised.
दिलजीत दोसांझ पाजी का गाना है गोट, वो इन्होंने 10 मिनट में लिख के दे दिया था हमें।
मैंने लिख तो 10 मिनट में दिया था।
अच्छा।
और उसको भेजा मैंने इसी वजह से 1-2 घंटे बाद कि इनको ऐसे लगे।
And I learned this the hard way, honestly. Back in the day, 8-9 years ago, when I just started off as a full-time artist and team lead in my organization, and I was able to finish projects much faster. The team and I, we jived well. We were able to close 2 hours, 3 hours worth of content within 3 weeks of post-production time, which is much faster than what other teams were able to achieve. And the constant flack that I got for it was that I'm not spending enough time ideating on something meaningful and the quality wasn't great. And the only way I was able to push this notion was actually finish the project on time but submit it a week after. Still a week before when I should, but not 2 weeks before like I used to back in the day. And suddenly that entire perception completely changed, that now Nishant is spending more time on the projects and taking it more seriously than he was earlier. And last, of course, is to balance your buffer time. I briefly touched upon this with respect to using this time to upskill yourself, but by submitting the work in 25 minutes, you allow some buffer time also to review the work and address last minute changes. There's no doubt that the client is going to have some feedback to share. Or you wake up the next morning and think you can improve that product or project a little bit, right? To just give yourself that extra time so that you can do justice to the project is why you should gun to finish it a little earlier. However, submitting the project in the 20 minutes itself will mean you're leaving too much buffer and giving the client a lot more time for additional feedback and alterations, which you ideally, of course, want to avoid. Striking a balance with a 25-minute submission showcases effective time management and dedication to delivering a project. At the same time, it also gives you a little bit of wiggle room to kind of tweak and improve and address any feedback that may come from the client. So next time you get a gig, try and approach it this way and see how it works wonders in your hustle. Strive till you find the perfect balance between practice and package, like I mentioned earlier. Onwards with the next key principle that will help you with your hustle. By the way, before that, if you like the content thus far, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. The next key principle, look to get your foot in the door. Now this not only opens a bunch of opportunities, but it also allows you to make your presence felt in the room. And here's a little bit about how seizing this opportunity is crucial for you. 1. Building relationships. When you get a foot in, there's a chance to establish a rapport with a bunch of senior stakeholders that you probably haven't gotten the opportunity to interact with before. And this is an absolute chance for you to forge meaningful connections and collaborate with them in such a way that you can get their support and guidance. Having said that though, please don't be a chatu.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Not one of you has the stomach to challenge anything I say. Oh my God.
Stand up for yourself and your opinions, and don't worry about who's in the room and whether you can share it or not. Legit people honestly respect that you are able to put your opinion in the room confidently and stand by it, and you know enough about the problem statement to actually share a genuine solution. As much as it feels like senior people like to be surrounded by yes men, please don't be one. Play your cards right and figure out how you can share your thoughts without at the same time coming across as a know-it-all pain in the ass. And honestly though, it's about finding that balance, right? Where you're able to share enough of your opinion so that you can put a stance, but not always discrediting, discounting other people's opinions and just sharing what you think is right. That just makes for a very annoying collaborative experience in all honesty. And I'm sure you have a bunch of those kind of clowns in your circle that you absolutely can't stand. 2. Learning opportunities. This I briefly touched upon before, but of course, right? Surrounding yourself with experts who share insights and experiences and perspectives related to the kind of problem statements that you are abreast with solving just helps you become better at what you do. It helps you stay up to date with ongoing trends. And just getting into that kind of room gives you access to some invaluable knowledge that you absolutely shouldn't be avoiding. Let's face it, you're trying to get your foot in the door to begin with because the other side of the door has a bunch of very seasoned campaigners who know a thing or two about whatever you guys are hustling towards. And the more you're able to figure out how to surround yourself by such people, the better it does for you to grow and climb the ladder. Next, visibility and recognition. Of course, right, now that you're in a room with senior stakeholders, this is a chance for you to showcase your abilities, your ideas, and your work ethic. It allows you to gain recognition from decision makers and try your level best to establish a presence using your expertise and passion. Like I mentioned earlier, right? If you have an opinion, don't be afraid to share it in that room. Just make sure that you're able to project it in such a way where people understand where you're coming from and they know that you're coming with a sense of credibility and expertise and you shouldn't be discounted. Don't think that you can't inspire other senior people within your circle. Of course you can. And the only way you can do that though is to be as true to yourself as possible. Don't let that authenticity ever go away. And finally, a massive confidence boost, right? As your experience of being in the room grows, so does your confidence. You become a lot more at ease talking to senior people, sharing your thoughts, solving problems with them. And it just gives you a massive confidence boost that helps you in your career solve a bunch of problems that you never thought you could. That entire imposter syndrome that I'm talking about is absolutely real. And getting the confidence to battle it is very, very important. These kind of opportunities, like being in a room with these people, sharing your thoughts, learning from them, is all part of building on that confidence level in general. This is what enables you to be more actively involved in discussions and allows you to showcase your unique skills and perspective. I kid you not, as much as I knew so many different things that I'd love to share with people for the longest time, it took some real courage to be in front of the camera and share this with people the way I am, whether it's on YouTube or other social media platforms, right? And all that came because of a massive confidence boost that I experienced after talking to senior stakeholders and realizing from my conversations with them that they're also learning a thing or two by talking to me and indulging in conversation with me. So secure your place in the room and leave a lasting impression. That's how you open more doors for future successes. So there you have it. 2 key principles that will help you grow in your professional career. 1, getting a foot in the door, and 2, mastering the balance between practice and packaging. Remember, professional growth constantly requires proactive mindsets, continuous learning, and the ability to build meaningful relationships. If you found these tips helpful, then please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. Here we try and share insights from our journey doing a bunch of various things over the years that may help you with your professional career. So do give our channel a shot. Until next time, peace out.